Welcome back, viewers. Today we will be testing the complete Ichimoku Trader Indicator. But before we do, if you have not watched our first video and the videos after that, you need to go do that now. At the Academy of Forex, we are building the best trading system possible as a team. And as a team, we will all profit from it when we are done. You can find a link to the first video down below. You can also find a link to sign up for TradingView down below. If you use the link below, you will save a little bit of money. You can also find a link below to join us on Discord. Discord is a free group communication platform. On our Discord server, we are having great conversations about all things regarding trading. One of the biggest struggles on this channel is people who use other platforms like MT4 being able to follow along. Sometimes it can be hard to find the indicators we are using on other platforms. And so on our Discord server, I have created a channel for indicator creation. And on that channel, I pinned links to freelancers who can code indicators for MT or for TradingView. So if you don't want to create a TradingView account, you can hire a freelancer for a really small fee and have them code an indicator for the MT platform. Or if you are on TradingView and need an indicator created, something unique or an indicator for a system you have developed, you can also have them code PineScript. So use the link for either MT4 coding or use the link for PineScript. Lastly, I get a lot of people that are asking me for the entire list of all the winning indicators that we have tested to date. And whereas I am not a big proponent of gatekeeping information, I've put a lot of time and effort into creating the content on my YouTube channel. And so I don't think it is too much to ask for the viewers to go through and view the content that I've spent a lot of time creating. Now, if you are not interested in supporting our channel by going back and watching the content that I have created, then I have developed a solution for you. I've created a Patreon account. I will put a link to it down below in the description. If you sign up for Patreon and you sign up for the $9 a month account, I will send you the full list of tested and winning indicators to date. I will also send you an updated list of the indicators that we are testing at the end of each week. Now, of course, you have to stay subscribed to the $9 subscription, monthly subscription, to continue to receive the updated list of indicators. But that way it will provide me with the support that I need to continue to provide the free content that I am putting out for everybody to view. Now, if you just love the channel in general and want to support us, then there is also a lower, I think $3 Patreon subscription that you can sign up for that will also help support the channel and keep things going so that way I can continue to produce the content and the open information that we are creating here in this channel and in our Discord server. Again, if you have not signed up for our Discord, then you need to do that as well. It is a absolutely free platform where we have real-time ability to chat and have conversations about trading. And again, if you want to support the channel with Patreon, then you can find the link down below in the description. All right, as I said, today we will be testing the complete Ichimoku Trader indicator. But before we do, I wanted to put the indicator scoreboard up for everyone to see. So to date, we have tested 185 indicators. And out of those 185 indicators, 74 of them have been winners, which means that they have met or exceeded the 60% win-loss ratio threshold that we have set for them. The best ones so far were able to achieve a 100% win rate. Now you need to go back and watch those videos to understand the context of how they were able to achieve that. But as we are working on building the best trading system possible, you could take any one of those 74 indicators and get out there and start potentially profitably trading the markets with them now. So go back and watch those videos, make a list of those indicators, and get out there and see what you can do with them. But stick with us here as we work on maximizing your trading profits. All right, so as I said, today's indicator is the complete Ichimoku trader indicator. You can see it here on screen. There's actually not a lot happening visually with this indicator. And it's kind of a good thing because, to be real honest with you, the Ichimoku system is quite a lot to have on screen. There is just visually a lot happening with the Ichimoku, and it can be quite overwhelming. And so if you've never seen the Ichimoku, well, here, let me actually, I will put it on screen here. So there you go. That is the Ichimoku in all of its glory. And so, as I said, there is quite a bit happening with the Ichimoku. And so, having it on screen can be rather visually overwhelming. So, the creator of this indicator did us a great service in that they created the indicator where most of the visual components of the Ichimoku is not visible. You can't see them on screen. They basically only left these tags that say buy and sell. Pretty simple, not a whole lot to it at all. When we get a sell tag, we will go short. When we get a buy tag, we will go long. So, like I said, relatively simple. If you don't know about the Ichimoku Cloud, you can go back and you can take a look at it. It is kind of an all-in-one trading system. Lots of different components to it that all kind of have to align, specific ways for you to get trade signals. There are tons of different ways to trade the Ichimoku as well. There's not just one way. There are, the default ways, the ways that you technically it was designed to be traded, but you can strip out bits and pieces of the Ichimoku, and you can use those kind of individually to trade with for different aspects of your trading system. Quite a fascinating indicator all in all. So before we get into trading the indicator, testing it, I am going to go ahead and map out some support and resistance areas. I'm going to do this relatively quick. Basically what I'm doing is I'm taking the most recent price action and I'm mapping out the highs, the lows, and then the stair-stepping areas in between, the market structure areas. In this particular case, I'm not going to go back too far. You can scroll back like this, like I explained in my last video, and start marking off these. You can actually take the time frame from 1 day to 1 week, which will kind of give you a little bit better peaks and valleys to look at, kind of smooths things out a little bit more. A little bit easier to map out these areas of support and resistance. and, like I said, market structure. And so, yeah, I'm just going to go through here and just kind of throw some quick support and resistance lines in a few different places. Again, this is kind of the problem when it comes to doing support and resistance. I mean, if you really wanted to take the time and narrow in on every single area that had been touched by price action and had a reaction, then this whole screen would be completely covered in lines. And so everybody has their own idea on how to draw the support and resistance lines. And so in that kind of scenario, it's rather quite subjective as to where these lines are supposed to go. Now, another thing that you can do is you can use Fibonacci retracement, Fibonacci levels, basically. So here is a Fibonacci retracement, for example. So you can put this on screen like so, and then you can mark out the areas of the Fibonacci support and resistance. Now, it won't give you as many. In this particular case, for example, the levels, it's not giving you as many levels as going through and marking out the individual areas of market structure. And so that can be, somewhat problematic. You could narrow this down and say, go off of this area right here, and that that kind of narrows it in, compacts these lines, and then you could now go ahead and mark off these areas. Looks like a few of them we kind of already hit. And something like this. You're basically marking off those areas. You can start by doing that to get kind of your main areas of support and resistance mapped out. And then you can go through and you can refine them by going back in like I was here and marking out the rest of the points of contact, the highs and the lows, peaks and valleys, and so on. And then once you're done, you'll have relatively decent areas of market structure kind of mapped out on screen, ready for you to take into consideration as you are doing your trading analysis. So now that we have done that, let's go ahead and start testing the complete Ichimoku indicator and see what we can get out of that. And we'll just kind of play around with some price action as well. So we get our first signal right there. That is a buy signal. Looks pretty good. Might have gotten stopped out here. Nope, it was close, but we were able to squeeze a win out of it. All right, let's continue on here. So we can see that price action is pushed up quite significantly here. It's running into an area of overhead support, well, overhead resistance, I should say. I really hate that we use the two. So overhead is resistance and underneath is support. I just consider it support and resistance. I mean, obviously, if you're looking at the screen, then if it's moving up and you're running into it, then it's overhead. If it's moving down and you're running into it, then it's below. I use them kind of interchangeably, but just note that some people will say that, again, support is like a floor underneath your feet, and resistance is a ceiling above. If you were to jump up and say hit your head on that ceiling, then that is resistance. Okay, so price action has pushed up here rather significantly. It's had a few pullbacks here along its way. Hit this area and painted this really big red candle right here. This is a sign that price action might be reversing in this area. It is not a definite at this point, definitely not a good signal. It's just an idea, something for you to keep an eye on. So you look at that and you say, well, hit this area, it rejected it pretty hard with this red candle, so I'm going to keep an eye on it and see what it does. Now it then took off and started to push its way back up. It broke above that line this time, seems to be holding it. It's only one candle above. Let's see if it immediately rejects and comes back down, or if it's able to pull its way back up a little bit farther, maybe hit this next line up ahead where you can see that it hit back here and had a strong rejection of it. Okay, so right there you see that it rejected that area. It pushed back down below it. Now that is another really good sign. Now we're starting to get a little bit more confirmation that price action is probably going to push its way down at least a little bit. It may not go way down, but it will at least have a relatively decent pullback that we could probably get to our first take profit. Now again, it's not set in stone yet. We have a pretty good setup, a hard push in one direction, bounced, rejected it with a big red candle, pushed up again, rejected it with a big long wick, and now another red candle back underneath this line. And if we get another decent red candle, then that may be a sign to take a trade. So let's go ahead and play this forward just a little bit and see what the next couple of candles gives us. Okay, so that's not really helping out much. It's a very, it kind of helps out because it's a very tug of war candle. You can see that it has almost the same wick on both top and bottom, and price action, price really did not move at all. I mean, it barely made a very, very small body. And so this is a classic tug of war candle right here. We have both sides, the buyers and the sellers, thinking that equally thinking that price action is going in the direction they want it to go. And so the price really didn't move at all. Let's go ahead and play it one more candle. Okay, so now we have the winners. The buyers are starting to win out in this scenario. It's starting to invalidate the fact that this is going to go down. Hasn't quite done it yet. Let's see what happens. It's still in the threshold of a double top, kind of starting to triple top right here. See what happens. One more. Still not looking too good. This right here is, again, it's starting to confirm that we may have something happening to the downside. So it pushed up, it rejected this upper area, it almost touched this line right up here, and so it didn't like being up there in that price area and pushed down really hard for a red candle. Let's go ahead one more candle forward, and there we go. That is a really good sign right there. We have price action is pushed up. It's bounced off this level a few times, rejected it really hard, is rolling over, and is now painting this really good downward moving red candle right here. This is a very good price action setup. In my opinion, this is kind of a high probability. It's not guaranteed, but a pretty decent chance that we're going to get to at least a 60 pip take profit for a short signal if we were to take it right here. Let's go ahead and play it forward and see what happens. Again, it may not work out. It may just shoot straight up and take off. But it's looking pretty decent. We have a lot of conditions that we have met stacked on top of each other, kind of giving us the best probable setup for a short trade. And there you have it. And on top of that, our Ichimoku on the very next candle, which would have got us to the 60 pip take profit, painted a sell signal right there. It was slightly delayed, we figured out just a moment before, one day before the sell signal took place on the Ichimoku, that this price action was very likely heading downwards. That would have, let's see, that was a 100 pip move, somewhere in that area. So you can see that that worked out for us rather well. But now let's take a look at our Ichimoku system here and see what it gives us. Unfortunately, well, nope, there we go. Finally started to move. We were within our stop and we got another good take profit move. Let's go ahead and play this out some more. Keep an eye on our Ichimoku system. I'm going to kind of ignore price action at the moment because price action really takes up a lot of time in these videos, and we find that the video will be almost 30 minutes long and barely had any time to trade or test our indicator. But you can see price action is kind of bouncing along there anyways. It's really not making any kind of a convincing move one direction or another. Starting to now, but you see it pushed down, just kind of bounced along this area. And when that's happening and it keeps coming down and retesting an area over and over and over, you would think that that is more confirmation that that area is really good, I'll say, resistance. I mean, this is support because it's underneath, but it's resisting that area over and over and over and over. And you may think that that lends more credibility to the price going the opposite direction of that. But I found that that's not really the case. That often what you want is price action to push down, to test it, to reject it, to push down, maybe one more time and kind of hover in that area, maybe a couple of candles testing it, and then price action to give you a clear sign that it wants to move in the opposite direction. And you know, that really is a strong move at that point. The more it comes down and tests is the more times that traders start to lose confidence in its ability to bounce and really take off. And so they just ignore it. They start to just go, well, it's not going anywhere. It bounced once, came up and started to go. I got in, came down, stopped me out. Now I'm just going to sit on my hands until it really makes a move, and then we'll, you know, take a trade then. And so people start to lose confidence in it, and as they lose confidence in it, the move, the overall move, once it does break, tends to be weaker. So let's go ahead and play it out. Price action pushing up pretty hard, almost back to this area where we were back here. Let's go ahead and see what it does. So we get a buy signal back here. That is probably a not the best of places to have a buy signal, in my opinion. It's way late in this move, this push to the upside right here. It's pushed up here really hard, ran back into this line that was really strong, you know, market structure over here, stopping price from going higher. And then to boot, it paints this really big red candle almost immediately after rejecting with a long wick to the upside. So yeah, in my opinion, that is not a great buy signal. I would have been very hesitant to take that as a buy right there in that area. Let's play it forward a couple of candles and see what it does. So you see it's doing just like it did back over here. It rejected it, came up, touched the same area, rejected it again with a long wick to the upside, and could very likely paint a pretty decent red candle to the downside, giving us even more confirmation that this move is probably going to go down at least a little bit. Definitely not looking like a buy at this point. Let's go ahead and play it forward a little bit. So no confirmation. And right there, we start to see another push to the downside. It's ever so small, not as great of a candle as we had over here, but you can see that it is a very similar price action. Strong push to the upside, quite a few pullbacks in there, hit the same area of market structure, not allowing it to go any higher. It's rolling over and now painting another red candle to the downside. Again, this is looking very likely to get at least a 60 pip move to the downside. Let's see. We may have gotten stopped out already on this. Ooh, it's very close, but not quite yet. So let's go ahead and play it. And wow, looky there. So that is that's the thing about reading price action and only price action, is that it can fake you out quite often. Let's see what happens. Looks like we actually ended up pulling out a win to the upside right there. So, you know, again, this is why I stress that reading price action and only price action can be very problematic. You can be good at it. You can read all these signs and you can see the same signs taking place again in the same area, but that does not mean that price action is going to follow. Now it's broken up above here to the upside a little bit. And now that it has done that, it is possible that we may get a rejection now for filling the downside. What we see is that often market makers will set up price action to move in a specific way that looks like it's going to go down. Then they will spike price up, pulling in a whole bunch of traders, breakout traders, and then they will almost immediately start to push price back down the original direction that it looked like it was going to go in. Again, in this case, it would be down. It's a little short to know, but let's see what happens. So we pick up a short signal over here. You see that it did start to push down. Didn't quite go below where we were looking at back over here. But let's keep an eye on it. And it was able to break its way back up. Gave us a sell signal over here. That, I believe, is the first losing signal so far that's given us. All right, let's go ahead and continue forth. Again, the thing about price action is that trading price action by itself and only by itself can be very problematic. You often want a layer of conditions, all that need to be met, and typically indicators as well, to all be able to confirm the what's happening with price action. Let's see, we get a buy on that one. Yeah, we definitely get to take profit. There we go. All right, continue on here. We get a sell over here. That one got us to take profit as well. And so this is the thing about indicators. If you find yourself a really good indicator, I mean, it's taking calculations that are, well beyond what the human brain is able to calculate. And so, in reading price action, we're looking at, some very basic kind of patterns and areas that price action has reactions to. And so quite often a good indicator is well beyond what we are able to read in price action alone. Looks like we just ran into a losing streak here on the Ichimoku. Rather odd. Not too bad. Only 2 losses. Look like it may have turned out to be more, but no, it didn't do too bad right there. It just took two small losses there, small little blips on the screen. All right, so there we have it. So that's what we're looking at. Ichimoku the complete Ichimoku trader indicator. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We have 9 trades all together, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 wins. So it definitely meets this 60% criteria. I wish there were more trades in 1 year's time. That's definitely a bummer. It doesn't give us too many trades. But, sometimes you have to sacrifice, trading a lot for being more accurate. And so, if you're looking for just something to get you profitable, then indicators like this are a great asset to be able to achieve that. So, all right, we are going to put this one on the yes list, and we will move on to the next indicator from here.
If you have not already, like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell notification so that way you are notified anytime I post a new video. As part of the team, it's important that you are seeing the new videos as they come out so you know what it is that we are discussing and what indicators we are testing, have tested, and have not tested. Also, like usual, there is a link below in the description to the Discord server. You can join us on Discord so that way we can further discuss the indicators and have discussions as we move forward building our trading system. And lastly, like usual, there is a link below to TradingView. If you like what you see whenever I use TradingView and you are interested in signing up for TradingView, if you use the link below and sign up for a paid account, you will save a little bit of money. So, all right, everybody, I will see you on the next video.